Mia. Oh God, I just remember. Oh God. Oh God, is this going to work? This is not going to work. So today I thought that I'm going to tell you about my story, how I got into gaming. And I'm going to tell you about 3 games that changed my gaming journey, you might say. Games that changed my life. Everything starts from my childhood. I gotta tell that we didn't have a TV when I was growing up. My father thought that TV is not good for your brains, it's not good for your productivity or creativity, so we didn't have a TV. I didn't know much about any TV series, and I was kind of like left out when my friends talked about TV or TV series. So that kind of affected my opinion about entertainment when I was growing up. We did have a computer at our house, personal computer, PC. I remember it ran Windows 95, I guess. And I guess my cousin, he felt a little bit sorry for me that we didn't have a TV, so he installed 3 DOS games to our computer. And I remember those games vividly. There were the Lion King, the Jungle Book, and the Aladdin, those Disney games. And I remember playing those games frequently, a lot during the week, after school. And I really enjoyed those games. But one thing was bothering me. Those games were so difficult that I couldn't even finish those games. So I never got that great feeling when you finish a great game. So those games, I started out with those games, but they weren't exactly, they didn't affect me so much. At 10 years old, everything kind of like changed in my life. I remember, I was going through some difficult times. First of all, my parents, they got divorced. And my best friend, she and I, we got into this weird fight. I don't even remember what it was about, but something really weird. And she totally ditched me. She left me alone, and the whole friend group that we had, they left me alone. So during that time, it was kind of emotionally rough time for me, and I was spending a lot of time by myself and being alone. So the only friend that I really had was our computer, and I played those DOS games. Other cousin, he was nice enough to borrow me the first game that changed everything for me. And the game was Broken Sword, The Smoking Mirror. And it was an amazing game, and it still is. The cartoonish look, the scenery and the storyline and the delicate, beautiful music that Broken Sword has was just amazing for me. And finally, a point-and-click game, and that was the first game that I could really play and finish. So Broken Sword was the first game that I ever finished. Yeah, basically that's true. That was the first game that really changed my opinion about games, because I realized that games can give me so much. They can take me away from my problems. They can give me so much more. I can travel through the world and experience things that I can't experience here where I am right now. And after that, I started playing more PC games. I played point-and-click adventure games, Grim Fandango, the Monkey Island series, and the Gabriel Knight series, of course. Gabriel Knight wasn't my first game that I started out with. It was Broken Sword. And Broken Sword, I played also Broken Sword, the first game, Shadow of Templars. Years went by. I was starting to be a teenager back then, maybe 16 or something like that, 15, 16 years old. I was playing those point and click games, but then I realized that, or I had this craving actually, that I wanted something more. I wanted something more out of those games. And I got introduced to this one game, the second game that changed everything. Was the first game that I played that introduced me to violence in games also. And the game was a Vampire Masquerade, or is it Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines? I think it's like that. And that was something that filled my cravings for many, many years. The storyline, the atmosphere, the scenery, of course, the city or the cities where you play, the adventure element and horror type of elements that game has was just, and the dark themes, they were just everything that I wanted basically from any game. And finally there was some action that I wanted. Then a couple of years went by. I started to be 18 years old, yes. And I got introduced to another game, and it was called Half-Life 2 or Second, and I guess you have played it also. It was a violent game, a lot of shooting. That was just everything what I needed in my life, I guess. Yeah. The storyline, of course, the scenery, the music was okay. I don't really listen to it anymore, but the music was fine and okay. I remember the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. The music was awesome, I thought, and I still listen some of those tracks because there's some twisted. Some of the songs are so twisted and so beautifully made, and they're so simple and so dark and so humorous, funny almost. And there's this one track that I love. I love that track. That's just like art to me every time when I listen to that song. Yeah, I got so good memories about that game. Let's get back to Half-Life 2. So Half-Life 2 was an experience that affected my gaming career or pattern in such a way that after that I was always looking for another Half-Life 2, something that could be so catchy and so overwhelming that and overpowering, you could say. There's this clear pattern, what you see. I started out gaming when I had some emotional trouble in my life, and I got through it with games or without, I don't know, but it took me away from those bad thoughts and gave me an escape. You know, my childhood wasn't poor or boring because we didn't have a TV or anything like that. My hardcore gaming started when I was adult, because then I had my own money and I could buy games, and actually many of the games, old games that I played them when I was adult. So there's a little bit story. Oh, what? No. There is no story. This is the whole story, actually. Yeah. What else? And if you're wondering what happened between that friend and I, we got together after years. But we haven't been best friends since then. We kind of like, that was it. But we sometimes talk and ask what's going on, and everything is good. I got new friends when I changed schools. Everyone here in Finland, they changed schools after 6th grade. So I got new friends and I wasn't alone anymore. So that was a good thing, I think. Blah, 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 blah. Also, I gotta mention this. The other cousin that borrowed me the Broken Sword game, he borrowed me his Nintendo and Super Mario, and that's how I got introduced to Super Mario. But it was the same thing as with the DOS games that I started out. Super Mario is so difficult, and I guess I'm kind of like slow, or something is wrong with my brains. I can't just finish those games, and they take me... I go crazy when I just play those games because I can't finish them. So there it was, this whole story, how I started gaming. If you want to comment something and tell something about your gaming journey, I would be kind of like interested. 3 games that changed everything for you in your gaming journey. Can you see a clear pattern there? Did something happen in your life and you started playing this exact game? Let me show you more closer these game covers that I have. These are in my shelves. I just keep them because they're so important to me, and everything started from these games. Broken Sword, the first game, and the second game. Then the Vampire Masquerade. Why I always left out the Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. This is one of my favorite games of all times. The dark theme is so beautiful. I can see myself from the reflection. This is spooky. Spooky reflection. This could be my face on the cover. Oh my god. No. No. Okay. Half-Life 2, everyone knows this game, but it is a good game. Maybe we get a sequel, not sequel, Half-Life 3, maybe, you can't say never in a million years, no. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just this weirdo, as you might tell. One thing that I wanted to say is some old folks, they are very judgmental towards games because they see games, really violent games, or children, or someone who plays games, they could be doing so much more or better things than just gaming. But there are so good many studies about how good games can be also. They improve your logic thinking abilities, and they're good for your brains. So my advice is, when you get older, play more games. When you get old, play more games. When you turn 50, play more games. Games, play them. Of course, there are some limits and lines. You should follow. Like, is there something more important you could be doing than just play games all the time? Maybe you should try something else out. Yeah. That's me. Today I just wanted to make this video because I was feeling kind of like, not happy, but energetic. I don't feel happy usually, but energetic. So this was the video filming time. You know, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just playing around here, doing stuff that I don't know. I have all these gadgets and I kind of like hate them because I don't know how to use them correctly. I don't know how to create something interesting that looks visually good. You know, today I wanted to film this video, this music video. Today I wanted to film it and it didn't work out. And I was like, and I am just like, no, I'm not ever going to try to film any music videos by myself. I'm going to need someone to help me out. Oh God, that's really frustrating when you're doing stuff all over and over again and you think, well, now it's going to work out, and it's not going to work out. So yeah, that's my life, you could say. Let's see, how do I look from this GoPro? Do I look like a fish eye lens? Ooh, what I could be doing with this GoPro, I don't know. I could be doing some yoga. No, yoga is boring. I don't know. What could I be doing with this? Let me stop this right now.